Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and before we begin, it is Thanksgiving Day. So, from me to you, I wish all of you a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. Take 30 seconds, look around while you sit down to a Thanksgiving meal, either with family, with friends, with loved ones, or even if it's by yourself, and look around and just be thankful that you have a roof over your head. You have food that you are going to consume. Be thankful for the bounty of what this year has produced. It may not have been the best, but it was something, and it's to be thankful for. So, I wanted to put this out because this is the daily headlines report, and that means daily. And so I'm going to try and do each and every day, regardless of holiday or not. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump into this because there was some pretty interesting headlines that have come out. So, the first thing is the ceasefire that was slated for tomorrow, for Friday. There is some very confusing and conflicting reports that have come out. So I started at the beginning, and the Hebrew Channel 12 media came out with a report that says the ceasefire has been postponed. And they go on to speculate in the article that maybe there was some last minute deals that needed to be ironed out before they would go on and move forward with the agreement. Now, little ways after that, there was a report that came out that the deal that Israel agreed upon, uh, that they was not going to go on with the truce and that war will continue. So that report said that the ceasefire was completely off. And I was like, okay. And so I searched around for some more. And then there was a report that came out after that one came out that says Hamas has requested that the detainees that were going to be turned over, that was in the agreement of this ceasefire, is to be handed over to Egypt directly and not the Red Cross. So the one side is continuing that with the ceasefire per this report. Now it's interesting that they want them to be handed over directly to Egypt and not the Red Cross. There's a lot of speculation. When we read this the other day, where they had the no-fly zone, my guess, my opinion, is so that way you cannot fly over and see where they are pulling these hostages out of. There's probably a lot of surveillance issues, probably on both sides. Um, so it's going to be interesting. Now, the last report that I could find before filming this is that Israel came out with a official statement that said that they will not hand over a single hostage nor do any sort of ceasefire until the agreed upon time on Friday. So, from the absolute latest report that I can find, everything is still on that there is going to be some sort of ceasefire and a hostage, um, uh, what do you want to call it? Uh, Hostages released on both sides. So exchange. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay. Now, the part that I was concerned about is that this is a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel. This wasn't a ceasefire for anybody else. This wasn't with the Houthis or Hezbollah or any of the other factions or anything that's been, kind of lobbing some stuff and causing headaches. And it looks like out of the past 24 hours or so, give or take, that on the Lebanese and Israeli border, there is a major escalation. So it looks like in the past 24, maybe 36 hours, there was a massive attack of about 48 rockets that were fired on one northern Israeli military outpost or base or whatever you want to call it. That's the most that they've done in like one attack since all this has begun. And that was my concern going into this. If you have this person and this person that is fighting and you both agree to, temporarily stop, that's not an agreement with anybody else. And so, if this, which I see might be the thing to throw a monkey wrench into all this, if there is a ceasefire and Hezbollah steps up or the Houthis step up theirs, then Israel's not really getting a ceasefire. It's just they're getting one front a temporary pause. And it doesn't mean that the Hamas is going to honor the entire ceasefire. You know, if it's a 5 day ceasefire, maybe on day 2 they get everything that they wanted out of it, and then they go right back in. So it's all data points. It's just very interesting timing, and it's very interesting headlines. So we'll see how this goes. Now, again, North Korea is back in the news. I know. So North Korea has completely withdrawn from the Inter-Korea Military Agreement. They have sent additional forces and what looks like a lot of additional forces and different military equipment to what do they call it? Call it the DMZ zone, the demilitarized zone. Um, and it just kind of brings the question, you know, how many more potential fronts of different conflicts and wars are there going to be out of the world? You've already got, you know, the Russia Ukraine, you've already got Israel and Hamas, and then you've got China and Taiwan, and now you might have the Korea Peninsula. And how many more is going to pop before, you know, the really big one pops? Uh, but there was a video that was posted from the North Korean military that showed them basically firing a huge amount of artillery shells as a way of a show of force and warning to South Korea and the United States. It's all just escalation. It's all just saber rattling. It's all just who can bark the loudest and flex their muscles. And it's just right now, it's all just shows of force. Until there's an official attack, until something actually happens, it's all just saber rattling. Nothing to get panicked over. So it's something to keep an eye on. Now, speaking of, and actually, there was one that I was going to show out of North Korea. I don't know who made it, and I actually, the claim is that North Korea put it out, but it was just a really bad pun style picture that almost made no sense, and really it was laughable. And they said it was supposed to be a stern warning to the Americans. And I'm not going to share it because it's just sharing propaganda. Um, I might change my mind later, but it was just really odd to look at that one. But again, intelligence has surfaced again of the Wagner Group is preparing to provide air defense systems to Hezbollah. Now, we just talked about that the Lebanese and Israeli border seems to be escalating. And so it might be because they now have air defense systems. So, again, data point, we'll keep our eye on it. The next one is very interesting if you read into it. So there was a statement by the head of the Joint Command of Logistics that said that NATO should introduce the Shenzhen, and I hope I pronounce that right, but basically that Shenzhen zone would basically allow militaries to move from point A to point B without the approval of the governments. So you would have what would be NATO forces would be free to just move around without asking for permission in basically the European areas. So again, it's all data points, it's all posturing, it's all signs that we need to pay attention to. So again, no cause for alarm or panic, just a data point. Now, to circle it back home, and let's do some stuff here in the United States. There was an article that was released that announced the Pentagon is actually considering to allow fully autonomous combat systems to be able to kill humans. Now, if that didn't scream Skynet and Terminator and all those movies to you, that's a very dangerous thing. Yes, we have AI and different technologically systems that help and assist, but as far as my knowledge, there is no fully autonomous system. So that means that a computer is making the decision on whether what is in its crosshairs lives and dies. And without that human interaction and that human decision making, that's a very scary thing. So again, just data point. Um, and you should be able to see right there of the article. Now, in this article is Fidelity National Financial was shut down due to a major cyber attack. So again, we just had talked about Citibank and the way that they were doing massive layoffs. And then now you have cyber attacks going on again in the financial realm. And we're already going through bad economic times. And so, right here at the beginning of winter, right here at the beginning of the holiday season, it's never a good time to lose your job or to have, some sort of a cyber attack, but there are definitely worse times for it to happen. And then to end this, and I apologize for kind of ending on a much sadder note. So the state of emergency was declared in Kentucky, and two towns, which should be right here, was evacuated due to a train derailment causing a hazardous chemical spill. Now, what is being reported is that there was about 15 train cars that were involved in the derailment, two of which had sulfur dioxide. Can't read my own handwriting. So here it is. This happened last night. So the day before Thanksgiving, people in town, family and whatnot, you're just trying to cook dinner, you're trying to relax and unwind and just spend time with friends and family and loved ones. And then something like this happens. And that goes into why we prepare. You don't know what's going to happen. You prepare for the worst. And I tell you, having a train derail and having my town being evacuated was not on my list of things to prepare for. Now, you should take this and use it as a learning lesson if you are lucky enough to have maybe a 4 or 5 day weekend here, and look around in your immediate area. It doesn't have to be right next door to you. If you live in a town that has a train track that it might even go through the middle of town or on the other side of town, if there is a big enough train derailment, you may be asked or even forced to evacuate. Thus would bring in your bug out bag, and thus would bring in your plan. Where would you go? What would you do? Would you be able to get by? This is that personal and small time SHTF that I really hope that you guys prepare for. It doesn't have to be world ending or any end of the world as we know it. It can be something to where it's like this. I'm in Ohio. I'm just north, one state north of where this happened. This is not affecting me personally at my house or my town or anywhere near my community. But this is a major deal to them. So prayers for all those that are affected, especially now. And the same thing with the events that are going on in West Virginia. If I still have it, I'll put it right here. That gas line and water main incident is still going on. And I don't know. There's a lot of infrastructure things that are happening. We talked about the different cyber attacks, the taking over, where they were hacking into airplanes and different things. There's a lot going on, and I really foresee there's a lot more that's going to come down the pike. So if you are one of the lucky ones to where you are watching this, that means you have some sort of device, you have some sort of internet, you have some sort of electricity, you probably have a roof over your head, the heat turned on, maybe the smell of turkey cooking in the other room, maybe you have friends and family coming over. You have a ton to be thankful for. Don't take for granted you were able to hear me, and so be thankful you have hearing. You are able to watch me, be thankful that you can see. There's a lot to be thankful for during this time of giving thanks. And so for me, I am thankful for each and every one of you. You guys mean a ton to me. Without you guys, I would just be sitting here talking to a plastic device from China, and that would probably make me clinically insane. So I'm really appreciated for you guys. And I had a blast last night with each and every one of you that tuned into the live stream. And a real quick one for the people that missed it. If you've got it this far, congratulations. There was a change to the Christmas giveaway. I will be posting a 1 to 2 minute video right before the live stream coming up. So next Wednesday, I will be posting a 1 to 2 minute video. That is how you enter. I will explain it in the video that you have to be a subscriber. You have to like the video. You have to comment on the video of what you want for Christmas, including the word Christmas, because that's how I will pick it. It'll be by keyword. And then you have to be live with me. So you have to be on the live stream the following week. So that way you can claim the prize. So again, it'll be a 1 to 2 minute video on November 29th. You will have to be a subscriber. You'll have to do the comment. And then we will do the drawing during the live on December 6th. And you must be present in order to say, I won and claim your prize. If you're not there during a certain period of time, we'll pick again. So good luck to each and every one of you. So, all right, guys, I've taken up enough of your time. It is Thanksgiving. It is time to go eat and celebrate and all that. So thankful for all of you. God bless each and every one of you. And more information to come. Remember, remain united because we're all prepping in this together.